were gone for Christmas break. We went home, saw our family, saw our dogs, all that good stuff. But a lot of things have happened. The Alma Bowl happened. We didn't even cover the recap there. All these crazy coaching changes happened just out of nowhere. Well, actually, we're kind of expecting it, but some surprises too. And new hires, new commits. A lot of things have happened. So we're going to get you caught up on that. It's going to be our farewell video to the 2019 season. So
good riddance to that.
Yeah. It was a disappointment. So we're going to kind of look at it holistically and give it a grade and just say goodbye to it. And after this video, we're really not touch on it ever again. So
good.
It'll be 2020.
Yes.
From here on out, we got a lot of good.
New decade.
We got good plans for y'all, good content for the off season. That's when we shine. So be on the lookout. And as always, go ahead and subscribe.
Yeah, just do it right now.
Hit that button.
It's 2020.
Yeah, just start off the year right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the year's been
No.
it's been a while, but nevertheless, please subscribe.
Yeah. Right. All right, so we're gonna hop right into it and look at the coaching changes that happened out of left field. I mean, Todd Orlando going, kind of expected.
That was totally expected.
Yeah, it was inevitable.
Yeah, you can't have him stay on. I mean, even though like our defense definitely improved as the injuries came back. What really did it in for me at least was like when he left and then the result of the bowl game, like how different our defense looked and how much more productive. Yeah. It was completely night and day. Players that hadn't played the entire year were playing in this game and dominating like a
Corchiquez.
Corchiquez from y'all's city. Did y'all know him?
Yeah.
Wait, who?
He went to Churchill.
I didn't know that.
No, he was making. We didn't know him.
I was gonna say
no, not that guy.
No, but he was balling, and there was a young DB. I'm blanking on his name now. That was really making some awesome plays.
Oh, Chris Adamora.
Yeah,
Adamora?
Dude, yes.
Great plays, like really good.
No, like it's gonna be hard to keep him off the field next year, even with as loaded as we are. But
and then of course we can't go without talking about Osai just completely turning into like, I don't know, DeMarcus Ware, like just going all out. It showed me at least just how not unused Osai was, but how incorrectly Todd Orlando was using Osai in a lot of his personnel.
If you ever see Joseph Osai drop back into coverage ever again,
oh hell no,
that's not.
He's
good.
not bad in that either, though.
No, he's not.
He gets turnovers and picks and stuff, but
Big boy though.
Yeah.
But you put him on the end. Rushing off the edge, like that man is going to literally make our defense 5 times better.
Yeah.
And he's got first-round talent, so hopefully our new defensive coordinator, Chris Ash, can maximize that. And I can get a little bit into Chris Ash right now.
Yeah, let's talk coaching.
So whenever the news dropped that Orlando was gone, one of the first names we heard was Chris Ash, and we were all kind of like pessimistic about it. Like, Herman, please don't hire this Rutgers failure of a coach. He's your friend from
You just
Ohio
hear the words
State.
Rutgers and you just kind of turned off.
Yeah.
Well, not even that, but like, that Tom Herman like coached with him.
Yeah.
It was just like, it's another buddy hire.
It's
just
another
like
Drew
he did the
Maringer.
first time around. Yeah.
But then you start looking at what Chris Ash did as a defensive coordinator at Ohio State and Wisconsin, and he really just makes improvements really quickly as soon as he gets into the program, especially with DBs. He makes them just a lot. They do a lot more press coverage, and they're just better. They just seem better coached, and they have better numbers. The numbers always increase drastically in year one, and he does the 4 down front, which is helping with a lot of recruits now. I see Princely and Alfred Collins and all this great feedback. Landon Jackson, the 2021 5-star, Tunmais, whatever his name is. So the 4-man front not only will help us with our personnel, but it's also helping with recruiting too. And a lot of these recruits like Chris Ash, and we already talked about him a little bit in the previous video. But yeah, Chris Ash, the hire's looking better and better as the days go on, and he's already off to a good start. And then we replaced. This is the name that we did not have in our last video. We did a little bit of the coaching carousel, but we didn't have all the moving parts. Mike Yursich officially became offensive coordinator a few weeks after we did our last video. Yeah.
You even predicted it.
We were all calling for Mike Yursich, and we got him, which is very exciting. He's kind of a good fit for what Herman's identity is as a coach, like the power spread.
Definitely.
He wants to test you downfield, but also have that physical running game, and he wants to be balanced, but also just let his quarterback just do the RPO and all that good stuff. So Yurcich is great for that, and he has an amazing track record wherever he's been. He just puts up video game numbers, and I think when you hand him the keys with a lot of our studs returning, including Sam Ellinger and our running backs, and our O-line's looking good now with Cosme back and Junior, and like our O-line's going to be good next year too, hopefully. So he's going to have a good offense, and the receivers I'm kind of questioning.
That's gonna be the big deal.
Yeah.
That's my
really
hesitation.
gonna be. I'm hesitant. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm hesitant on Brennan Eagles because he shows flashes. It's mostly him and Epps. They show flashes, but I don't know if
Jake Smith too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really
none of them I've been able to or we I guess have been able to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely is something that we're going to be talking about all off season. Is can these receivers step up and play to their potential? Because if they can, I think they're going to be better than what we had. I could definitely see them being better than Colin and Duvernay even.
Brennan can.
Yeah, it's
and so can Jake Smith. They're both more.
Their intangibles are that much better.
Oh yeah.
But don't sleep on Marcus Washington, bro.
Yeah,
I have high hopes for that guy.
Yeah.
I really have hopes for that guy.
Dude,
yes.
That's my guy this next year.
He just got to get that chemistry, and part of that's on Sam. A lot of the time, Sam wouldn't throw good balls to Marcus Washington just because the timing wasn't there. They haven't had as much experience with each other, but a good offseason together. Hopefully, he'll be the starter next year unless we get a grad transfer, which I kind of want. I kind of want a grad transfer receiver just for depth. But Marcus Washington, we got players, but they need to show it because right now we don't have a Duvernay, Colin Johnson,
there's no go-to receiver
Lil Jordan
next
type
year, for sure
returning.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of potential.
But I'm sorry, is it Yurcich?
Yurcich.
We were saying Yurcich earlier. Yurcich will find that potential. That's the only spot that's kind of iffy, but I think it'll work out, especially in his passing game.
What I also really like about Yurcich is soon after we hired him, thinking about the future, even though it might only be I don't know how long he'll be here. Of course, it might only be a year, 2 years, or something like that. But knowing that he had a relationship with Hudson Card, long before Hudson even committed to Texas, to me is telling because I mean that's definitely going to be a debate down the road between Jackson and Card. But to me, I really like Card a lot, and knowing that Yurcich is here and has that relationship and recruited him well before Texas even really gave him an offer. That was pretty exciting to see. There's that chemistry there already.
Yeah, he's already evaluated him and said that he's a good fit for my offense. So
I like
it'll be a natural fit. And then whenever Sam leaves, or if he goes down next year, it'll be a tough battle between. I think Hudson Card could beat out Casey Thompson.
Yeah, definitely.
Hudson Card in the Under Armour All-American game,
balling.
dude. He was the best quarterback there, and that's what the recruiting analysts were saying as well. And you could see he's just so confident back there. He's so crisp and on time with everything, and he's athletic. He's got a good arm, really underrated arm. Yeah, I think Hudson Card. It's time to start that hype train because he
might be next up
awesome.
for sure.
Dude. He's from that Lake Travis pipeline.
Yeah,
and then Jaquindon Jackson.
He reminds me so much of Vince. I mean, not quite like Vince. He definitely isn't as big, but I don't know.
He's got that
There's
it factor.
You
got to find a way to keep him out of the portal. You got to put him somewhere where he can contribute a lot.
Yeah.
And people are saying linebacker, which that'd be kind of cool, but I feel like he's also got to touch the ball. So
back to coaching.
Coaching. So we got Mike Yurcich in the back, Chris Ash, and we're starting to hear all these position coach hires now. And the first one that really came out was Jay Valai. He's the one. He was the secondary coach at Rutgers with Chris Ash. And at first, all of us were really just like, oh God, just no. These guys have no experience. But then you start looking into him, and all these Georgia. He was a GA at Georgia previously, and all these Georgia secondary players. J.R. Reed, he was the runner-up for the Thorpe Award this year. He was saying that Jay Valai basically was the reason that he's become so good, and Jay Valai's and all these other people that have worked around Jay Valai or played under him have just great words and great experience for him, and he's apparently going to be a good recruiter. At first, we were kind of I don't know, but he's kind of got that Brian Carrington vibe about him.
Yeah,
and you're starting to see
Love
it.
that, man.
all the early things we're hearing from new recruits saying that Jay Valai is one of the coaches that sticks out the most, one of the new coaches. So I think Jay Valai might end up being a really good hire, and we just got to see what he can do. Hopefully we'll have better coach DBs as well. So I'm pretty optimistic about that hire. We retained Oscar Giles, which is good because he's developed some good defensive linemen, and he's also stepped it up in recruiting.
I was about to say he's also gotten some big fish too.
Yeah, and hopefully we get Alfred Collins in the mix soon. And that the retaining Oscar Giles really helps with the Alfred Collins recruitment, so we're in a good spot there. And then also on defense, we got Coleman Hustler. I don't know how it's pronounced.
The Hustler.
Yeah. But he comes over from South Carolina under Will Muschamp. And if you're coaching defense under Will Muschamp, that's a pretty good
that's a big deal.
Look, because Coach Muscamp's one of the best defensive minds in the game. And Coleman Hustler, he's a good recruiter too. He landed a few really good prospects at South Carolina, which isn't easy to do. It's a talented area, but South Carolina's kind of like on the bottom of the totem pole in that area of Clemson, Florida, Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pull
Really
5 stars,
tough.
and he was able to do it. And he's also done a really good job developing players from what I've read. And also the recruits now are saying good things about him. So I think that hire is good too. And I really have no problems with the defensive hires. I mean, sure, we'd like a cool big name like Tim Brewster or something
Yeah.
that has a track record, Tosh Lapoe, whatever,
Right.
the bagman.
Big
But
recruiter.
I
we
mean,
don't really have like a Rain Man per se,
We
at
don't.
least
Just
on
have
the
a solid-
recruiting end. But then again, like what Texas has lacked this entire previous decade now has been development coaches that can develop. So in a way, I don't mind it.
I don't
Because
mind
I'm
it
like,
either.
hey, if these coaches can develop, that's all
That's
I
the main thing.
freaking want. Because
That'll go a longer way.
Texas can
in
recruit
recruiting,
itself.
Yeah.
Like if we get back to what we once were, like in the 2 decades before, we're fine. We don't even need like a Rain Man recruiter. But damn it, we
The
need to
development
develop
will
really
recruit itself,
bad.
yeah.
I mean, we haven't we were just talking before recording about, the NFL draft and just how poor the Longhorns have done in general this past decade, just sending talent to the NFL. It's been very minimal. Granted, we've had some like really good players, but
yeah,
not compared to OU.
Earl Thomas, shout out.
Earl Thomas.
But
Puna, undrafted.
yeah, and these hires kind of show the state of where Tom Herman is in his tenure. He's in the win now spot. We got a loaded roster coming back.
Oh yeah.
And he knows that he can't afford to go hire
Yeah.
recruiters. You got to hire people that'll help him win now next year. Because we have, like I said, freaking stacked roster. We have talent. We have enough talent to compete with the LSUs of the world and whoever you want to play. It's just really just becoming more consistent and developing this talent further on. And the defensive hires definitely speak to that. So.
Yeah, Herman really definitely used his one free get out of jail card.
Yeah.
He's going all in, and which I mean personally I feel like he should have done that like a year ago, but when your job's on the line, I guess it makes you act a little different. But
next time he'll be the one that's fired.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did they hire a new wide receiver coach?
Yes, Andre Coleman.
Okay.
He was kind of interim there while Maringer got. But from what I've heard about Andre Coleman is from people within the program, they say that he's the most genuine, likable person in that building.
The opposite
kind of like
of what
opposite of Maringer.
And like an up and coming star type coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Young, relatable.
Yeah.
Played the position, I believe.
Yeah, he played in Super Bowls.
That's key.
Oh, damn. That's big.
Especially for positions like that, I feel like, coaches having experience, having played the game, I think is pretty beneficial.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about Andre Coleman compared to Drew Maringer. And there were times, reportedly, when receivers would come to Drew Maringer during games being like, look, I'm getting pressed up. I don't know how to handle this look. What do I do? And Maringer would not have any answers for them. Maringer could recruit, but he could not develop at all, and he was just a locker room cancer.
Lovely.
So
nice.
Coleman should definitely offer more development to these guys and fighting off press coverage and all that stuff. But also, I think he can be a good recruiter just based on the rave reviews you hear about how nice he is as a person and just his experience in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And he developed Tyler Lockett at Kansas State. So he's got a good track record going, and I think now that he's at a big program, he can really just reel in some good talent. And we need good receivers. So hopefully we'll get a few in this next class. So Andre Coleman hire, I'd say that's like 9 out of 10. No problems with that.
Yeah.
And then we bring in Jay Boulware from Oklahoma. He was the running backs coach there, and OU's always got great running backs.
They got studs.
Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, Kennedy Brooks, Rodney Anderson. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
He's been in OU for like 7 years, but the thing about Jay Boulware is he's a Texas X. He used to play here for a little while, then he like had to quit because of medical retirement. But he's one of the best hires that we made in terms of just like his credibility, because he's been around and he's recruited really well, and he's really well respected within that OU program. And even the Kamar Wheaton, who's not like the number one running back in the state, might be number one running back in the nation. Jay Boulware was like the lead, like one of the main reasons that he wanted to go to OU. So now that he's on our side back home in Texas, hopefully he can start pulling some of these stud running backs. Kamar Wheaton, he's on like number one on the board. So hopefully Jay Boulware can start making moves with all these recruits, and I think he can develop pretty well. But he's coaching tight ends here because Stan Drayton ended up staying.
Have him. Yeah.
Thank God.
He almost went to the Cowboys, bro.
Yeah, he turned out the Cowboys.
I wouldn't mind that. But yeah.
That just makes me happy because Bijan was loyal to us, and I'm glad that Drayton was loyal to him. So
smart.
And that was kind of the reason that Bijan came here. So love to see it. Stan Drayton, I really think he's done a good job. I mean, people will disagree with you.
Job.
I mean, he's missed on a few recruits a few years ago, but I mean, when you're battling Bagman from the SEC, it's just there's only so much you can do.
This year, at least, he's stepped up his game. I'd say in previous years he hasn't lived up to it, but getting Bijan is huge, and then the development of Roshan has been.
And Keontae, I mean, the best running back in Texas, he got him, and he's done pretty well when he's healthy. I mean, he's not been the best, but he's showed good signs. Like, he's better than what we've had, so. Yeah, and his development with Roshan for sure. So Drayton's back. Herb Hand's back, which is great because he's just done a great job with recruiting the O-line. Like, our O-line haul this year is really good, and it was last year too. That pretty much rounds up the hires. We're waiting on one more defensive lineman coach. We're hearing Joey McGuire, hopefully, from Baylor. He's a great recruiter, and he's shown great promise at Baylor. So we don't really know yet. I think Herman's kind of just scrambling for this last hire because some of our top options have went off elsewhere. So, I mean, it's okay because Brian Carrington's on the road right now recruiting in the meantime as the coach. So it's fine. I'm glad we have everybody, for the most part, in place, and I really have no issues with the staff. It's just up to Herman to make it happen now because he's got no more get out of jail free cards, like you said. So
yeah, it's over.
And wasn't there a coach? We might have already talked about him. I think I heard that has like a lot of special teams expertise.
Coleman Hustler is one of them.
Hustler's the guy.
And Andre Coleman as well, I believe.
Oh, both of them.
Oh, okay.
That'll be
maybe
huge.
Jay Boulware too. I know there's like 3 of them that have all had great.
Because our special teams was really bad last season, but I think we have potential to like be elite on special teams. I mean, you've seen the returns that Jameson can do every now and then when he pops off. And then, of course, with our, with Digger, and then with
Bujeski coming back, that could be big because he was pretty good for us before he got hurt. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Important.
Special teams matter.
They do.
People forget about it. But so with that, we're gonna kind of go into 2019 season. Take one last look at it.
Gross.
Before we start on it, though, Matt, what was your prediction for the season?
I don't really remember that much, but there's a documented history where I said we would go like 11-1.
I'll throw we'll throw the clip in now.
Go ahead.
We got us both at 11-1 then.
Both at 11-1, but I honestly see a path to 12-0. Like, maybe that's just the homer in me, but like I'm overly confident in LSU, but like we can win a lot of these games. Like, we really can. It's just funny to see the wild optimism that we had at the beginning of the year. I mean, how could you blame us though? All the trends were looking up, and I'm just out of my mind, flabbergasted as to like the complete opposite that this season.
You know what's really funny? When I first joined y'all, like right before recording, you were like, give me a hot take, and I was like, my hot take is I see this team going. What was it, like 9-3, 9-4, or something like that. And y'all were like, no,
Nah.
man, what are you talking about? I'm like, I
new
think
guy
we're
knows.
gonna lose to Baylor, and I think we're gonna lose to Iowa State. And you're like, well, those are tricky games, but we're not losing to both of those teams. We lost to both of those teams.
Hey, we were injured, all right?
Yeah. We were injured.
Yeah, I would like to say
Excuses.
that the predictions came when we thought we would be at full health.
Facts. Yeah. I also picked 11-1 also. I was
Yeah.
like, it was a close one, Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
But then
Shooing
walk into
for
the
the Big
playoffs.
12.
Yeah. I mean, we're homers.
Shit,
but,
bro.
like,
I used to say Joe Burrow was like a joke. Like
he was a joke.
But
Like,
he
with
was
Sam
a joke.
Ehlinger.
I banged the table. I'm sorry. But he was a joke. But like now he's not. No, he's not a joke. 'Cause I take everything back that I said. But yeah, it's just funny to see that. There's just a documented history of the roller coaster, and it's pretty bad. But
Yeah.
let's say goodbye to it
Yeah.
one last time.
Kiss it goodbye.
all right, so to start off looking at the 2019 season, we're going to first cover the game that we haven't covered yet, and that was the Alamo Bowl, which, of course, Texas goes in and just destroys the number 11 Utah team because why not? That's just what we do.
And we
Right.
show up in the big
Show
moments.
up to the
man.
bowl games.
Yeah.
Show up in the big moments.
When healthy, bro, we're dangerous. That's all I'm
Watch
saying.
out.
But no, seriously, like Craig and Ivar had our defense ready, and part of that is Utah runs a vanilla offense,
They do.
so it's not a Big 12 offense, so they're easier to scheme for, easier to stop because we're good against the run and all that good stuff. So we really shut them down. Like you said, Joseph Osai was balling out. Chris Adamora, Court Jaquez looked good. I don't know if he can
No
do.
one had a bad game.
Yeah, seriously.
honestly,
Yeah, no.
like anywhere on all sides of the ball that I can think of, at least. Right?
No.
No, it was.
Keontae played
sounds
out
like
of
a
his
pretty
mind.
sound
Yeah.
performance.
It took
all the way around.
Keontae a little while though. Like he didn't start out great, but like by the fourth quarter he was balling. You know.
Yeah. The whole offense kind of started off slow. Sam was kind of off. But as soon as we had the Ishan Jameson punt return down to like the
Yeah.
5-yard line,
Yeah.
like the party was on.
Yeah.
And then we just started just like dominating. And it was like you hear the commentators saying like, how is this Texas team just literally whipping this team that was moments away from the playoffs?
Right.
And it's just kind of like
Because we had
frustrating, man.
Because
Because
we have the
Yeah.
talent.
Could have done
Like,
this all
When
year.
it comes together, it looks like the greatest band ever, man. Like,
it does. And this is where we get into the injuries. This was the big theme of 2019, and I think this is so like it's so important because if these injuries didn't happen, Todd Orlando's still here because we see what this defense looks like when it's healthy.
Yeah.
Against Tech, we did really good, and against Utah, we played awesome, pretty much fully strength. And then LSU, La Tech, early in the season, really good. I mean, it's just we got obliterated by injuries, and then you saw us in the Alma Bowl, and it's just like, where was this all season? So
Right. It makes you wonder, like, going into next season, is Tom Herman going to completely change his method about
he needs to.
practices and
oh, he has to.
spring practice and summer practice and fall camp?
not
and
gonna be hitting
literally
that much.
everything. Because all that we kept hearing is like, oh, it's like a death camp out there, and like
Yeah, Bloody
at first glance,
Tuesdays.
it's like hell yeah,
Yeah.
death camp. Our
It's
our
ball.
players are tough, you know,
ball.
Yeah, back in my day.
old school. But then when everyone starts getting hurt, it's like, well, that's probably
We don't want to
stupid.
put Mason Ramirez in. Like,
Yeah.
I remember a point in the
At
season.
running back.
Yeah, that too. Like, I remember
Convert him.
there was a point in the season against Kansas State, since we're talking about the whole season. It was a close game. Kansas State ranked like 16, and it's like a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, and Mason Ramirez is in like a linebacker, the walk-on,
Yeah.
who was playing a running back like a few weeks ago, and he was blitzing on 3rd and long in the crunch time. And I was just like,
This is
"Why?
not-
This is not
no.
what we need. This is not good. Where's
No offense to him, but
where's BJ Foster right
Very
now?"
Foster, yeah.
right.
And like it was just a revolving door, and that's what we're gonna really talk about. Is the DB injuries we had was just atrocious.
The amount of times
it was just crazy.
the amount of times I'd be at a game and I'd see a DB walk to the sideline with like a shoulder down.
Chris
Yeah.
Brown,
Or
yeah.
someone just like
Jalen Green.
yes, I'm like, dude, we're just dropping like flies everywhere.
Yes. Everywhere.
We had Montrell Estelle playing really big minutes against TCU, and he just got shredded.
That was not
And
good.
so definitely Herman's got to adjust the way he practices, and he's got to like definitely tamper it down with Bloody Tuesdays. We
Right.
just can't.
Who are your star players? Okay, like have them like rest.
Yeah.
I am
Like
not
apparently
against
that's
my
what
star
LSU
player.
did.
That's
It's
what
like
LSU
LSU
did.
there with Burrow and
That's what seriously.
None of them played in
Zeus
fall
and all
camp.
them.
Yeah.
Like it was just
Chase
like, oh,
and
well,
Delpit, they
we
didn't-
don't even.
This is how I felt
They didn't even
about, like,
practice. You know.
Like, yeah, this is how I feel about like, preseason for any sport. Is
Right.
just sit the for sure players. Let everyone battle out the ones that they're not
The
for sure.
backups.
Yeah, let them battle out for the spots.
Who's
Yeah.
string?
Let them take the hits. Seriously.
There's no need.
You only have so many hits in your body throughout a season before you
Absolutely.
just start getting hurt.
No one's healthy throughout the whole season. If you are, that's the greatest luck of all time.
Yeah. It's a physical sport. So
Yeah.
Herman definitely has to change that. Otherwise, he'll be in a bad spot at the end of next year because we got this great roster coming back, but it won't mean anything if 5 of our defensive starters are injured and we have freshmen in there, and it's just it'll be the same results. So
Yeah.
and then the Alamo Bowl. I mean, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but we went 38-10 against the second best team in the Pac-12. Offense looked good. Sam Ehlinger, he started balling out. He had 4 touchdowns. He's getting closer and closer to the Colt McCoy's record of career touchdowns at Texas, and now I think he's within 39 touchdowns of it. So if he stays healthy next year, he should be able to break that. So
That's a shit ton, dude. 39. I couldn't
That's a
imagine
lot.
scoring 39.
Yeah.
You'd have to add more rushing touchdowns, which were
Yeah.
down this year. But
he's had over 40 the last 2 years.
That's true.
I think, or close to 40.
I think you can
so.
do
no,
it.
it was yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if we make the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah,
That's
the
another
extra
game
game.
to add on.
Yeah.
And if we make the playoff and we win in the playoff,
We going there?
that's another. No, we won't be talking
11-1,
about that.
let's do
I'm
it.
just saying hypothetical.
None of that talk.
One of my lessons.
Stay away from that. But what I really liked about Sam in this game is he got his mojo back. There was a point where some
Yeah.
Utah player like kind of gave him a dirty hit and then like laid on top of him, and then he like got in a scuffle fight, and then like he broke it up and started like hyping up the crowd again, and he
That
was
was
talking a bit. I'm just like, Sam, like this is the Sam that the whole Texas fan base like fell in love with, and I understand him like getting another year older and being a little more mature and like controlling his emotions and being more of a leader and everything. But that part of Sam Ehlinger, I think, is what like turned him into a star. Is like, hey, this guy is like a dog, and he hypes up everyone, and I feel like I didn't really see that this season in general. But then seeing that again, it was just like, yes, that this is what got Texas to this point. And I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think that was important.
Yeah, because you see him against Baylor and TCU, and he was just
It doesn't look like the same player.
there was no juice
Yeah.
there, and you see him against like Utah and at Oklahoma State last year. Just
I mean, even the whole. I mean, even like the LSU game, I would have expected him to be like talking and like stuff, but he was just very. And people change,
Professional,
people get
yeah.
older, and maybe that's what he needed to be, and that maybe that's what the coaches told him. Hey, you need to like settle down and be more of like a captain, leader. But I don't know. I like that dog. Whenever that comes out.
So,
Yeah, so I mean, we can take a step away from the Alamo Bowl. It really means nothing. It's just kind of
it's
frustrating
done.
because the Sugar Bowl happened last year, and we couldn't count on that momentum to take us anywhere because of injuries and other things. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, maybe Utah was not motivated, whatever you want to say, but we.
dude, they only unmotivated against us, bro.
Yeah.
Why does that always happen, bro? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
man.
No one likes to play
unmotivated.
Texas. Texas is so low key. No one likes to play us.
Yeah.
Kidding, being very sarcastic.
Let me take a step back and look at the 2019 season. You were talking about Sam Ehlinger, just kind of being just apathetic. Not truly apathetic,
Not
but
apathetic,
not like
just
the leader
more
dog that we're
reserved.
used to seeing. And it takes me back to like the stretch of the season where the locker room was in shambles.
Those rumors.
All
are
the
coming
rumors
out,
that people
yeah.
were entering the transfer portal. Drew Maringer was like threatening kids and all that stuff. And Sam Ehlinger was just like, I don't know who these people are. all this like terrible
Gosh.
misinformation, according to Herman, was coming out of the locker room, and you could see it on
Fake
the field.
news.
It's not.
Yeah,
All the propaganda from the UT football social media accounts. I was like, they're not that happy. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Dancing in the locker room.
Yeah.
Herman headbutting players, and Sam Ehlinger just telling them like, please stop, please stop.
Yeah.
And that was just a bad stretch, and it like kind of leaked in the Texas Tech game We went down 14-0. And then something happened, and we just turned it on. And then,
What happened? What?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
That was a weird DKR game.
But yeah,
You were there, right?
Yeah, I was.
Thomas was in the crowd.
you're a trooper for being out there.
Yeah, no, I was not there.
I didn't even
not
go to that
there.
game.
It was my last home game, so
Oh,
No, damn.
That's
Why you gotta say it like that?
ready to shine.
You'll be back. You'll be back in
I
DKR.
was there.
Yeah.
I was a student.
Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
Sadness. But yeah, I mean, look at the season. You know, look at the OU game. That's always one of the most important games of the year. And we completely, for the first time in a long time, we got physically whipped against OU.
Yeah.
Very surprising to see.
Yeah.
I would never have thought in my lifetime I'd see OU be more physical than us.
I know, like, I mean, in our lifetime, yeah, but under Herman and even under Strong,
Yeah.
Strong
Right.
would get us up for those games, and
Definitely.
Herman would get us up for those games, and we would push him around a little bit. And we came out in that game, we gave them all the bulletin board material, and they took advantage of it and just dominated us in the trenches.
So flat.
9 sacks. I don't know what happened.
Predictable play calling.
Yeah.
I mean that plagued the entire season was predictable play calling on the offensive side of the ball, and I guess kind of defense too. Like, well, maybe not defense, but offense definitely. You knew that a bubble screen was coming, and DBs got to the point where they could just like start running before the ball was even snapped, knowing that like Duvernay is going to catch the ball at this point. He's going to take this many steps this direction, and by the time he turns the corner, I'm going to be literally on him. Like, yeah.
So, like, your season at Texas is defined partly by how you play OU. Like, Case McCoy, that terrible year, he'll be remembered for beating OU.
Yeah.
And beating
He has a
A&M.
great memory.
Yeah, like, he wasn't a good quarterback, but he beat OU, beat A&M, which was
Yeah.
and you can't go out to OU and lay an egg. And that's the first time it's happened in a while. So if that happens again, it's not going to be good for Herman. So that kind of disappointing part of the season. LSU game, man, we came out ready to play. I mean,
Probably the
That was the
highlight
best
of the
performance
year,
ever, man. Even that being
even
in
though it was a
yeah.
loss. It's funny because I think after the game we were like, man, this is like a low point of the season. Like, we were so close to beating LSU, and then like by the end of the season,
But
we're
I
like,
like the way
that
our
was
team's
the
fighting
best
right
point.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
we're scrappy. We're scrappy.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in every fight, man.
If we play like this, we're not going to
Yeah.
be stopped.
Jacoby Stevens, the linebacker at LSU, he was asked who was the toughest game you played all year, who was the toughest team you played against, and he said Texas. And they played every good team you can name.
They played
Florida,
every good
Bama,
team.
Texas, Georgia,
State.
they
did they
played
play?
everybody.
Was this before
Clemson.
the
They
playoff?
played Clemson.
No, it was after the playoff.
Oh, wow.
It was like a few
Yeah.
days ago.
End of the wow.
And it's
Not
true. I
Ohio
mean, look
State,
at the other
my bad.
games. The only team
Yeah.
that played them close like that was, Auburn, but whatever. And
That's kind of a weird game.
yeah, Bama. So that was it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And we had them on their heels, and I hate to say, like, it doesn't mean anything. We lost, but it's just kind of frustrating to see what this team could have been if we were
Yeah.
healthy and consistent
Yeah.
and playing at our best. And hopefully we get that next year. But it's kind of getting scary about Herman because every year that he's been a head coach, he's had great games against good teams,
Yes.
and then he'll lose terrible ones to
big games
UConn
and
or
then the bad.
TCU
yeah, we play
or
down to our
SMU.
competition and we play up to
Yeah.
the competition.
Yeah, and
it
there's no consistency.
And he's shown no signs of getting out of it. either.
No. Even before he took the Texas job at Houston, he got up for those big games like against OU.
Yeah,
and,
Louisville, Florida State.
and Louisville, as you said. But then he would lose games
Yeah.
like to Navy or
you lose like his
Memphis
in-conference
before they were
games.
good,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, we'll have to see.
What has he been a coach for 5 years now? Head coach, and every one of those years he's played good in a big game and lost in a game we shouldn't have
Just
lost.
stick, man.
Yeah.
So
Just
I
think.
mean, you can't be taking losses like that in year 4 at Texas. So
No.
I'm trusting him to get it fixed.
Yeah.
But it's concerning because you look at the TCU game and
Oh gosh.
the Iowa State game; those were just miserable to watch.
Oh, horrible.
And
No
I mean,
good.
injuries do play a role in it, but man, like we still got more talent in these teams.
TCU was.
Yeah, it's not like we don't have players to like backup players that can compete
Yeah,
with their
these
starters.
are all still
you know?
4 stars.
Yeah.
Like these are still largely more talented recruits than I don't know. And then Sam Ehlinger basically had a breakdown against TCU, which is really weird. One of the low points of the season where he just threw like 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
It was like a flashback to freshman Sam.
Yeah, not good.
But we didn't see that really again after that. He came back to normal Sam. So, but man, that TCU loss was the worst. That was disgusting.
yeah.
But
Bad defense.
man,
Offense.
I don't even
wasn't
remember
very
the
good
guy's
either.
the quarterback's name, dude. That
Max Duggan.
Yeah.
Duggan,
Dude,
yeah.
what
Like
the
500 yards.
Yeah.
what the hell?
They went 5-7.
Yeah,
Right.
dude.
That was his best game.
why?
This man was
Far.
running all over us. He was
No.
running and all
Throwing
over.
dimes.
Throwing dimes. I was like, dude, who
into like triple,
who is this
quadruple
man?
coverage.
Who is this man?
Yeah, it was insane.
I think one thing you got to bring up a little bit that hampered us a lot this year was the O-line. I mean, as much as I like Herb
Yeah.
Hand and the way he recruits, it just didn't come together this year.
Oh.
We gave up. I wrote it down. We gave up 36 sacks this year. That's the most. And we
That
had
is
the
so much.
it's the most in the Big 12. And
How much is that per game? Like 4?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's up there.
Yikes.
And then we had within the conference we had a mid rushing game 5th, and you just think that'd be higher.
And we
I was-
started out so
Yes,
well
that's
on
the
the
thing.
O-line.
That's the thing.
Like I wrote that down as like a surprise.
You
of the
know,
year
Parker
was our
Braun's coming in.
regression.
I was like, man, we're gonna dominate the run game.
And
at
we
least.
dominated LSU
Yeah.
on
We were
on-
pushing them around.
Yes,
And
yes.
we were just like, yes, this is
Yeah.
like the offensive line, the best one since like
Yeah.
a Mac Brown team. And then I don't even know when we started. I guess the OU game. Like after that point, we
after that
just
point, just-
completely regressed.
And then combine that with running back injuries, and that running game never really. I mean, Keontae finished with like 1,000 yards total combined, but like it's just the most
Yeah, it was
quiet
very off
1,000
and on. He'd have a
1,000
few
yards
good
ever.
games.
Yeah.
And then a lot of like
He's gotta be
really
more
bad
consistent.
games.
It has to
He's
be.
very in his head. He needs to definitely become more relaxed mentally because he's a good player. He just can't get caught up in his
And look,
emotions.
man, he's got competition coming next year.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Bijan.
You don't even think about you don't even think about Jordan Whittington. Like I don't even
Yeah.
count that guy as even
Yeah.
playing this year.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's we
No.
still have that guy in our stable, and Roshan, he's an X factor. He may go back to QB, I doubt it, but like we have a stable, and Keontae's still at the top, but there's some pressure there now. And
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was going to be the year he solidified it, and he did it. So that was a big what if for me in this season was the running game.
Yeah.
Over the last few weeks, I've really been studying Bijan Robinson and like the All-American games that he played in the Polynesian Bowl and his film in high school and his numbers, and I'm reading up on him. It's going to be really, really hard for Keontae Ingram to hold him off as a starter. Bijan is gifted, and he's fast. People don't think he's fast.
He's
He's
the
fast,
game-breaking scheme.
and he
Yeah,
makes
man.
everybody miss, and he's physical, and he's really smart and really
You think
genuine
that's
person.
going to translate immediately?
Yeah, I do. As long as our O-line's good, he's going to be really good. I saw him against like Justin Flo and against Noah Sewell and in the All-American Bowl, and he was popping off at practice. He's good enough to definitely come in and contribute as a freshman, and I think he might end up being our best running back on the roster next year. He's got stupid football
can't keep this guy off
IQ,
the field.
and he's stupid athletic, and he's built like a freaking steroided NFL player. So Bijan. I mean, I don't want to hype him up too much, but it's going to be.
He'll have a role.
Yeah, he'll
Well,
definitely be
yeah,
playing next year a
We'll
lot.
be hyping him up for the next
Yeah,
6
he's our crown
months.
jewel of the
Yeah, I
class.
know, man.
But so you want to talk about the receivers a little bit because I was kind of underwhelmed outside of Duvernay of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all expected Duvernay to be good, but we didn't expect him to be this good. And thank
Right.
God we had that consistency in the passing
Yeah,
game.
The one thing we could rely on.
Yeah, all I gotta say about Colin Johnson is he came back to make a playoff run and up his draft grade a little bit. Obviously, none of those two things happened, so it was a lost season for him. He had 400 yards less than he did last year. Only played in 7 games. It really took a step back. But you got to think about how good of a season Devin Duvernay had and the way he got snubbed in the Blitnikoff.
Ugh.
Not even nomination.
Just
Man,
everything.
this man.
Not nominated for like
yeah,
any award
anything,
period.
anything.
Even in the top 15, yeah.
He's gonna be so good in the NFL. This man's built like a running back, but with the speed of a slot receiver. It's
Yeah.
outrageous.
And he doesn't drop
And he
passes.
doesn't drop
Doesn't
passes.
drop.
He's golden hands. Coming into this year, he didn't drop a pass.
He'll be one of those NFL players
Yes.
on NFL Fantasy that like I need Duvernay.
And they
like,
Duvernay.
Right.
trade
yeah,
for Duvernay.
Absolutely.
He'll have a role somewhere.
He's gonna be. Unless like an NFL scout like starts hyping him up though, like he's gonna be way under the.
Oh, he's gonna be a
radar.
steal.
Yeah,
I think he's going to test really well at the combine.
that's
and all
the
that.
thing though. Like if
he's
he,
gonna- yeah.
I really want to see his 40. Like I'm curious if he can do like I'm sure he'll do at least a 4.4. I'm wondering if he can do a 4.3.
And even with the bad season, you don't
Yeah, it's
think?
fast.
No, that's fast.
Oh, okay. It's fast as hell, dude.
I think he can. But
And even with the bad season that Colin had, he's gonna get drafted.
Oh yeah,
and
not very high.
Not
though.
very high. I don't know.
He is showing out in the Senior Bowl.
That and a lot of things. A lot of times you see players get measured at the combine and their draft stock shoots
based on
shoots up.
measurables,
Just
just size.
Yeah, based on that.
Yeah, DK Metcalf.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And not even. I mean, it's not even.
He doesn't have the speed.
Not speed. And I was gonna Byron Jones, obviously not a receiver, a DB, but he broke a world record in the long jump.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and
Cowboys
and
were like,
and
"We
now
want
he
you."
became a first round pick. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Right.
And so I think there's a lot of potential there with him, but he just had a really really forgettable season, unfortunately.
Yeah, but like you said before this, like it was nice to see Colin fight through
Yeah,
that
right?
injury and play his last game in the burnt orange.
He had to.
Definitely an orange blood,
touchdown.
and yeah, he went out the right way. And I mean, that's going to be more good film for him for the pros. I mean, he needs all the film he can get. So that was good to see the boys back together one last time. Sam, Colin, and Duvernay.
Yeah.
I think Duvernay will be the one that'll impress the most in the combine and hopefully
Definitely.
get up to the top 3 rounds. And yeah, I mean, you would comment on Jake Smith and Brennan Eagles.
A lot of potential there. I think we touched on the beginning a little bit more, but
Kinda, yeah.
we're just waiting for it's one of these two guys, or hopefully both of them, is I don't know. I don't think they played to their potential this year as much as they could have. I mean, granted, there was a lot of the internal strife with the coach and everything,
Right.
but yeah, it's gonna be one of them for sure. Obviously, I like my guy Washington, but I definitely think Brennan or Jake are gonna be like our go-to guys, and I'm excited to see them in Yursich's offense. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Jake Smith will be used a lot.
A lot, yeah,
And
creatively too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you got that guy's got just like elite athleticism,
Mhm.
and Sam Ellinger's got to make a effort to really get his timing down with him, because there were a lot of times when he'd be
little
open
bit
and
off.
Sam would mess it up or Jake would
You
mess
could
it
take one
up.
to the
Yeah.
house,
And he was a freshman, so yeah, like you got to give him an open space and get that timing down, because he's such an X factor. You don't find speed and quickness like that. So hopefully doesn't. I mean, he's still here in spring, so I think we're past the transfer rumors. Thank God, Maringer kind of sparked those up. But yeah, I mean, Brennan Eagles and Jake Smith, that's the future of the receiving core, and they have to take that next step. Because if they do, then our offense will be really good next year. And if they don't, then we could stay mediocre, or not mediocre, but just slightly above average. So yeah, I mean, receivers, I'll grade them probably like a B plus for this year, and then coming back next year, probably like a C plus.
C plus with potential to grow, I guess.
Yeah, and we need to have some of these like Troy O'Meara,
minus.
Kennedy Lewis. One of these guys needs to step
Yeah.
up. We have a few receivers that are just kind of lurking on the depth chart that show promise, and hopefully Troy O'Meara can come in, and he's a highly ranked freshman. So, and hopefully we add another one by signing day. Kelvontae Dixon, Savion Williams. We need more bodies.
Yeah.
I want to grab transfer receiver. So yeah, receivers definitely need some work, but they had a good season. I mean, you can't forget about what Duvernay did.
Yeah,
So
it's a big deal. Unrewarded, but it's a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
O-line, not very good. Running backs, I mean, touched on
Up
that.
and down.
Uh,
Rashawn was a big. I mean, he was kind of the surprise of the season. I know, like,
yeah.
You can make an
When-
argument
when
that
we started, we
salvaged
were-
the season a little bit.
yeah. When we found out that he was like looking nice in practice, so we were like really joking about that. But he turned out to actually be pretty good at the running back position, and definitely. I don't know. In a way, I saw him, kind of like the second quarterback on the field. A really good motivator, which is why I really wanted him to stay at running back, because
He's got
at
to.
quarterback he's just going to be on the sideline, which
He's not gonna play.
he's just not going to play. And I don't know. I feel like he could probably even catch. Like I could see him being like a receiving core is probably too good for him to like sneak his way in, but. I don't know. I want to see him on the field, and
Me too.
I really like
He
his
runs hard. He
mentality
plays it
and
hard.
Plays a lot
What
of
else do you
heart.
want?
Great motivator.
Dude, he's a diehard UT person. Like
Yeah.
That too.
he definitely
Yeah.
loves being a UT student, UT player, and he's passionate about it. And you see him out there, just running so hard and over again, taking hits, being like a selfless person.
Falling forward.
Yeah. What kind of
Yeah.
quarterback wants to go? Yeah, I'll go play running back against LSU. I've never played before. What quarterback does that?
No.
Yeah.
Who wants to go get
Gotta
hit
be-
by Caleb
It
on
was
Chase
all
Gotta be a
within
little
his
crazy.
right to be like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't wanna do that.
I'm good.
I know. Like,
I'll pass.
I'll wait till year 3, then I'm quarterback.
Right.
I don't need to get hit. But like he was part of the Like, he gave us energy in the OU game. He gave us energy in the LSU game.
Every game.
He was the juice off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
That,
yeah, Roshan, definitely a high point in the season. I'm going to touch on the defense a little bit, then we'll grade offense, defense, special teams in the season as a whole. Then we'll get out of here. But defense, what I was really happy to see was Tavondre Sweat definitely came in as a freshman and really impressed. I didn't expect him to be that much of a contributor that early, but he's definitely going to have a big role next season. And you see all these other guys like Moro Ojimo, Coburn, even Taquan Graham kind of grew up a little bit. So our whole D-line that's returning, and Marquez Bimage too is making plays. Our whole D-line's in a good spot.
Yeah.
And you have Osai in there now too on the end. That's a really good defensive line. They're all coming back. And Gerald Wilbon and the seniors, they have Charlie Strong's last seniors hit the portal because they can't compete with these guys. And then we added 2 more, hopefully, in Broughton and Collins. So D-line's looking great coming into next year. Our secondary is really stacked, overshown. They just got to stay
We still have
healthy.
the
All the
stable.
same
We still
guys.
have
They're
the
all
stable.
back.
We're gonna have the
Outside of
stable
Chris
for another
Brown,
2 years,
you
man.
know,
Like,
and Brandon Jones.
Chris Brown's back.
Health now.
Oh, he is?
He's back. I thought he was a senior too.
Really?
He's a junior.
Oh my God. See,
Oh, it's because he redshirted. His
Yeah.
First,
we have the stable.
They're all B.J. Foster, Stearns,
put it
Anthony
together,
Cook, Deshaun Jameson, Jalen Green.
It's
Everybody's
a
back.
scary secondary.
Ah.
It really is.
And then you have Delia Dayaway and Jawan Mitchell back at linebacker. Our whole defense is back besides Brandon
Yeah.
Jones and Roach. And
That's good.
I mean, if we stay healthy with Chris Ash, I mean, it should be good. So
Yeah. New scheme, too. That should benefit all the players.
yeah.
Style. So,
But that's 2020. So we're gonna give one last final grade to 2019
And never think
kiss it
about it
goodbye because it was just a disappointment.
yes.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the offense. We'll start off with Matt.
Okay.
A scale from 1 to 10. Just kind of grade the season.
All right. Well, if we'll do 1 to 10. I kind of think about like grades as in like grades, like so like an 8 would be like a B
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I give the offense a B and not B, an 8. So same thing. So an 8. They were on the field more times than they had to because we were playing from behind a lot. And so that's why you look at, like, I was looking at our average, like, yards per game, and it's up. But you can't – that really doesn't mean much because that just means we were playing from behind and passing a lot more. Sam's stats were up, but you can also chalk it up to that. So, yeah, I give him an 8. We didn't do – we were good, but we weren't consistent enough to just to win the games we should have.
Right.
And then that means it's like it's all connected. So that makes the defense struggle even more. I give them a 7. Hell, we fired our defensive coach. We didn't have a good defensive season.
Yeah.
And then the special teams, I gave a 6. And I'm hardest on them the most because I used to have this middle school coach that would scream at us and be like, "It's special teams because they're special." Bad joke. I know, but it stuck with me forever because special teams plays swing games. They're really important, and we were not good
We
at
dropped
that this
so
year.
many
We were
punts.
dropped at that. We were not good at
Kick returns
yes.
were abysmal.
Yeah, we routinely gave up big returns. We were not good at
that too.
tackling.
It's
So
just
yeah, I'm
everywhere.
really hard on special teams.
I mean,
'cause I
Dicker was
believe-
good,
yeah.
but that's it.
Dude, we lost a game because Malcolm Roach jumped offside in a field
Yes.
goal.
Oh, that too.
That's special
It
teams.
literally lost us the
You don't
game.
even think about you. Everyone thinks about just returning punts and stuff. Like it's little things. So yeah, I'm hardest on them the most. But yeah, 8, 7, 6 offense, defense, special teams, mid-season.
I'm with you. I'm gonna give the offense an 8 because I mean it was really good. They put up great numbers, top 10 and almost or top 15, top 20 in most every stat you look at. But we just hit that wall. We became so just complacent and we got figured out. We're not
Predictable.
creative. Yeah.
Uncreative.
So at that point, we just started taking L's to like Iowa State
Didn't
and,
equate
and
to wins.
Baylor, and we couldn't move the ball. And
Yeah.
then
TCU.
finally got our juice back towards the end of the season. Yeah, TCU as well. But you can't have that. You can't stall out. So if I would have been consistent, I would put them at a 9 or a 10 because we played really well against LSU and Utah and Tech and La Tech. All
They
these
showed
teams
9
and
and
Rice.
10s.
Yeah.
But overall,
It should have been a 9 and 10. But I mean, injuries do play a role. But man,
Even that.
definitely an 8. I think an 8's being kind of nice because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it could be a 7 based on just how we couldn't get the ball past midfield against Baylor. I'll never forget that. So
Oh God.
yeah. Offense, I'll give it a 8. And then defense, I'm going to give it a 6 because it would be like a 4, but I know how injured we were, and it was just a revolving door in the secondary, and the defensive line took some hits too. So, I mean, when we were healthy, we were a formidable unit, and it wasn't bad. but just the Todd Orlando doing those terrible blitzes and then seeing what it was without Todd Orlando, so much better.
Yeah.
So I might give it a what did I give it? Like
6.
A 6.
6.
I'm gonna change mine too. As a 6. You reminded me
Yeah.
of all the horrible play callings in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like
3rd and 17.
Putting a
set in the house.
freshman DB
Right.
on an
Yeah.
island.
Island. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
6.
6. Yeah. 7's kind of high. I mean, if we were healthy, maybe 7.
Yeah.
But yeah. So defense definitely needs to take a step forward next year. And special teams, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was good, really good at times and really bad at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 6 as well. Dicker the kicker, he's pretty good. He still does miss kicks that he should make. I mean, he's good. He's good in the hard kicks and kind of suspect in the easy kicks now.
Which is
Which,
a
I
great
mean, he
problem
still
to
has an
have.
overall good percentage, but I want him to take that next step and become like just a really reliable kicker. And he'll make the clutch ones, which is what matters. And then Deshaun Jameson showed great signs as a returner. We kind of really didn't go to him until the end of the season. We kind of worked on Jake Smith a little bit.
I mean, he did some. I mean, like in the Rice game, he returned it for a touchdown.
Well, that was a kick return, but like, yeah,
Oh, you mean punts?
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. I definitely think we should put him like as the focus of the kick return. He has to be from now on.
Oh, yeah.
He's our best returner.
Yeah.
And so you got to use him more, and then just the penalties that we had and stuff. So yeah, I think it was a 6. Definitely can take a step forward, but we got good personnel coming back for it. So I'm excited about the future of our special teams, and we got good coaches now in place to help that unit out. So.
I mean, for me, it's kind of muchly the same. I think we're all kind of in agreement. Offense, I almost want to give it a 7, just being
I don't
with.
blame you.
I mean, just because it was so inconsistent and it got so stale. There were definitely, some high points, like we said, like the Tech game and the Utah game and the LSU game where we looked unbeatable. But really, outside of those, like even La Tech and Rice, like I expect us to be that good, even if we have a very vanilla, offense. So a 7. I mean, that might be a little harsh, but I don't know. I'm kind of waffling between 7 and 8. Defense, I think a 6 is pretty fair considering the injuries, and then special teams, I'd give that like a 5.5. Just because, I mean, they were so. We have so much talent, and I really do think that we can be an elite special teams team, but like so many drops on punts. Like by the end of the season, every time a punt went up, my heart dropped because I'm like, there's a 50-50 chance that they're gonna drop this thing and F it up, or jumping off sides on field goals and on punts too, and then kick returns. Like I multiple times where Jameson, when he was on kick return, when he wasn't scoring a touchdown, he would like pick up the ball like just in really stupid situations, like, oh, the ball's like right about to sail out of bounds, let me grab it real quick and try returning it when I'm on like the 5-yard line and I got defenders like 10 yards in front of me, when I could just let it go out of bounds and I get it on the 40. Like just stupid mistakes. So you know what? I'm giving that a 5. I mean, Dicker was really good, but So, but correctable stuff that can be corrected going into next year. So,
Yes, sir.
Overall grades, I guess, if we averaged them together. Anyone here good at math?
No, but I'm gonna give it a 6 on the season or 5.
It's like a 6 to 7 and a
Yeah.
half. No,
Not a
that's
7.
Not 6 to a
A
7.
7? That's like a pass. That's like a C.
It's like a C.
Grade. I'd give us a C.
We definitely
I mean, 8 and
passed.
5. Like if we didn't win the bowl game,
With a bowl game, we probably pass.
we
Okay,
passed.
fair enough.
Without the bowl game, I'd give
I
it
think
like
overall-
a 65,
Yeah,
or 6.5.
yeah, I'll go with that.
But with the bowl game, maybe like a 7, 7.5.
Either way, we have completely underachieved for like the 12th year in a row. So
Yes.
it's just disgusting, and it's
Following
it's
the
so
trend.
tiring. We're tortured right now.
If in a year we're making another video like this, we're just gonna shut down this whole thing.
Dude, we grew up watching Vince Young and Colt McCoy in the Rose Bowls and winning natties and Big 12 championships.
I wasn't
Now we
even
can't
a-
even go
I'm
to the
in
Big 12
college.
championships.
I feel so ripped off. Like I hated UT back then because like everyone was a UT fan. It was kind of like liking the Miami Heat like back in like the early 2010s.
Yankees
It's like
fan.
I like the Heat. They're so awesome. I'm like, screw you. Like they're easy to root for. So I hated UT until like I like got here, and then I was like, yeah, I'm ready for UT football, and then it's like 3 years of Charlie Strong, and then all this. Yeah. I should have been a Fairweather fan from not Fairweather. I should have been a bandwagoner. There we go from the start. But yeah, but we got a new decade. We got new coaches. We got some new players.
This time,
Hopefully, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me like 12 years in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just feel even foolish talking about next season because like we should be good, but also
on paper we
Right.
should be good.
Also, we'll probably end up going 7-5. So.
Right. Nothing would surprise us.
Yeah, so we're gonna be really limited on our Kool-Aid that we give out to y'all this year, but hey,
It'll be
maybe
there.
next year's the year.
It's the
I
year.
see 11-1. I see it.
Going down that road
18
again.
starters returning.
18.
Oh,
Hey,
I mean,
don't look now.
on paper.
If we're healthy.
Well, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 6 months to pump
Yeah.
all that into our
Yeah,
system.
so-
But
We'll have definitely more videos coming out. I got some good ideas. So does Trevor and Matt of videos to feed y'all because it gets really boring in the off season. So keep an eye out. Please subscribe as always.
please do.
We really need it, and we really appreciate it when you do subscribe. So thank y'all. And any last words, boys?
To a better decade.
Yeah.
To a better decade.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe watch some Texas basketball. Just kidding. Do not watch
not watch
Texas
that.
basketball. But Super Bowl's coming
Even
up.
worse.
Root for Shanahan, unless you're a Cowboys fan. Then
Don't.
root for Mahomes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bye.
See ya
Later.
Okay.